Hey, good morning. Welcome to the Daily Coffee Chat with Ryan Frank. So glad you're here. Welcome, Facebook. Welcome, podcast listeners. Those of you on YouTube, wherever you're catching the coffee chat today, I'm so glad that you are here. You know, a lot has changed with COVID-19. I am holding in my hand the beautiful new copy of Kids Matter magazine. And it is the COVID-19 issue. And this thing, I've been flipping through it this morning, and we've got some great content in here to help you navigate not only this pandemic, but post-pandemic. We've got a page on ministering during the unknown. I love this. Doc Hunsley, who is one of the great special needs gurus of the day, although he probably wouldn't call himself that, but he is, has an article on asking how, not why. Disability ministry is no longer an elective. It's not about asking why should we be doing this, or should we, but how should we be doing this. Ken Ham wrote a great article on apologetics and kids. I wrote this just for Kids Matter magazine. It's a great article. Derek Jones, which family is your priority? Now, we were supposed to do a multi-site roundtable at Derek Jones Church outside of Atlanta, and then this pandemic hit. So we still need to reschedule that. A post-COVID-19 kidmin. A post-COVID-19 kidmin. What a difference a virus can make. This is just a great issue, and I'm excited today because one of our guests in the coffee chat is Amber Pike. Amber Pike is the executive editor of Kids Matter magazine. She's going to be with us in a little bit. We're also going to hear from Vanessa Myers, who, Vanessa, we reviewed her new book on page 52, Breakfast with Jesus, 100 Devotions for Kids about the life of Jesus. So Vanessa is going to be with us in a few minutes as well. Children's ministry friends, if you are not subscribed to Kids Matter magazine, you really need to get subscribed to Kids Matter magazine coffee chat. You get Kids Matter magazine free when you are a member of Kids Matter Pro. Did you know that? Kids Matter Pro is a new program. So many of you have been loving the Kids Matter website, the new kidsmatter.com, with all of these downloads that you can use: curriculum, games, worship videos, pre-service videos, countdown timers, and we're literally adding new stuff to the website every day. Andy, who's producing this show, has 5 games he's adding this morning to the site. And so we've decided to launch something called Kids Matter Pro. When you are a member of Kids Matter Pro, it's $20 a month. It's $19.95 a month. We give you a subscription to Kids Matter magazine. So whenever we print this magazine, we send you a copy in the mail. We give you at least three brand new, never seen before downloads every month. Now, that for June, we gave everybody 4. They got an extra one. These downloads the retail value is at least $20 a month. So you get that $20 a month back in downloads. So just that alone makes it kind of a no-brainer deal. And then every month we do a coaching call. Now, we're going to do our next Kids Matter Pro coaching call Thursday next week. And we're going to have a roundtable discussion at Race in Children's Ministry. Are we talking about it like we should be? Do our kids see diversity in our church? Are we helping our kids and families navigate racial and ethnic diversity? How do we have these discussions with our kids? You can be part of these monthly Zoom coaching calls if you're a member of Kids Matter Pro. So if you aren't a member of Kids Matter Pro and you aren't getting Kids Matter magazine go to kidsmatter.com. There's a button right there that says Kids Matter Pro membership right there in that top bar. Vanessa Myers is a good friend of our ministries. Vanessa, you can jump on here as soon as you're ready. Andy, bring her in. Vanessa is a children's ministry champion. I've enjoyed following her blog for some time. She contributes from time to time to Kids Matter magazine. I just told you on check out page 52 of the new issue because we have reviewed her newest book. Let me find it again here. Page 52. Breakfast with Jesus, 100 Devotions for Kids About the Life of Jesus. We also have put some of Vanessa's resources on kidsmatter.com. Good morning, Vanessa. How are you?
Good. How are you, Ryan?
I'm doing well. Thanks for joining me on the coffee chat.
Thanks for having me.
So people have probably seen your name, Vanessa Myers, in the I Love Kidmin group. Of course, our magazine subscribers have become aware of your new devotion book. But tell us about Vanessa Myers, about your ministry and your family.
Well, I have been in the ministry for almost 20 years now. Started out in youth ministry, but about 10 years ago, came into the world of children's ministry, and I love it. So it's been great.
So how did you make that transition from youth ministry to children's ministry?
Well, I had kids, and I missed being something that I missed out on was when I was doing youth things at the church that I worked at. I was missing out on what my kids were doing at the church. And so I wanted to be a part of that. And so as much as I love the teenagers and stuff, I absolutely adored working with kids, and it's awesome. And so I shifted over to working with children and have not gone back. Now my girls are one's in high school and one's in middle school. So
are you going to go back now to youth ministry? Or are you going to stick? Good for you.
I'm staying here. This is where sometimes you find your niche, and this is my niche. So I like it.
I love it. Now, Vanessa, you have a ministry beyond your local church ministry where you're writing and you're creating content. And you told me the other day that at the beginning of the year, you really felt the Lord prompting you to make a shift in your content. Talk to us about that.
Yes, I've been blogging now for about 7 years, and I started out with just focusing on children's ministry. Then it leaped over to broadening a little bit to faith, family, and ministry. But then I felt the Lord tell me that I need to focus on the family. I don't know if sometimes people talk about they have a word of the year.
Yep.
And so the word of the year for me that this year was focus. And the family was what I was supposed to focus on, and didn't have no idea that I would be focusing on family and how we would be shifting to focus on the family and not having church, and how this pandemic, never would have thought that we would have a pandemic where we couldn't have church.
Exactly.
And so that is what my ministry has been about, is serving not only my families here in my church, but also families across the United States, and just creating resources and helping parents learn how to share their faith at home and how to live out their faith at home. And that is exactly what they have been doing for these past 3 months. They have been focused on that for sure.
I love it. And your blog is it VanessaMyers.org?
.org. Yes.
Andy will drop that in the link, but that's VANESSA
Why?
Okay, MYERS. Only one E in that Myers.
That's right.
But we'll drop that in, so everybody check out Vanessa's blog. Give us an example of something that you have created or you've written or put together in the last year, or since this pandemic, wherever you want to go, to help families. What's that look like?
So back in March when all this started, we shifted a little bit to, we don't have kids church, we don't have our Sunday night program. So now what we're going to do? So we're going to put something together from that the parents can do at home. And I started off, one of the things I really enjoy doing is over like holidays, like Christmas and Easter times, I make bags for families, like take home kits. Yep. And so I really enjoy doing that. So that kind of shifted for me doing that now full time. So I have been writing curriculum. I only do like once a month. So my latest one, it's Bible Superhero Week, which is on your website.
Yeah.
Yes. So basically that's 5 days of materials that focuses on a different superhero each day. They have a Bible memory verse, a devotion for the day, scripture, they have a family activity, and things like that so that they can focus on. It's been fun. So we did that back in May with my church here, and the kids loved it. So, and actually this like tomorrow, probably I'm starting up. I just finally finished writing a new one. It's called Baking Through the Bible. So we are baking our way through different stories that have to do with food in the Bible. So, and some of the things that they're going to get to do is, create aprons and create oven mitts and create, baker's hats and things like that they will have to be able to do.
Fun idea.
Yeah. So it's just something that hands-on, and it's something that the families can do anytime. They don't have to do it all every day, every activity every day. They can spread it out over the course of, a month if they would like to. So
is that why, you call it like the Bible Superhero Week? We also call it the Bible Superhero Month.
Correct.
And
yes.
You did that because?
Well, I have to thank Brittany Nelson for that one, because Brittany Nelson told me that I should do it over a month, because a lot of families or churches want to do it over the course of a month instead of a week. So
good idea.
Brittany helped me with that one, and so I did that. So some churches may be doing it for the month, and we decided to cancel our Vacation Bible School here, and I'm in Georgia, and so we did that. And so I wanted to do something still with the children. And so these weeks have been taken up for what we're doing. So, and the kids send me pictures, the moms and dads send me pictures of them doing their thing, and I post them on our children's ministry Facebook page. And it's just a fun way for them to connect and see what their friends are doing. And also, so I can see what they're doing at home with their parents. So.
Vanessa, how have you, last question for you. How have you found it effective to stay connected with the families in your church during this pandemic? Is there one thing you're doing that, like, man, this is working well? Or are you doing several things?
I've done several things. Probably started out doing like more Zoom meetings with kids, with preschoolers. That's always fun with preschoolers.
Oh yeah. Yep.
And also with our elementary kids. And then once school ended here in Georgia, which ended really at the beginning of May, we shifted not to do Zoom meetings anymore, but I instead are doing, these, I deliver things we deliver these packets to the kids. So I'm seeing kids and their families. They see us at our drive-in services. We have drive-in services on Sunday mornings. So they're seeing my face and connecting, texts, things like that. So lots of ways of connecting.
I love it. It's Vanessa Myers. Check out VanessaMyers.org. Andy will drop the link in for those of you that are on Facebook. Those of you that are listening to the podcast or watching on YouTube, it's VanessaMyers.org. Also, the next time you are on Kids Matter, if you go to the family discipleship category, here are 4 resources that Vanessa has created for the kids and families in her church, and she's sharing them with you. The Bible Superhero Week or Month that she talked to you about, Pentecost Party Pack, Books of the Bible flashcards, Fruit of the Spirit Week. Now, what's Fruit of the Spirit Week?
Fruit of the Spirit Week is basically just, that was our first thing that I did once we came out of the pandemic, once the pandemic started. And so basically we had 2 fruits to the Spirit each day. Also has a memory verse and a Bible story every day. So it's just a fun way to for them to learn.
Yeah, so. $8. That's a bargain.
Yeah. It's simple. It's not as detailed as this Bible Superhero Week. So that's.
Gotcha. Yeah. Vanessa, thanks for joining me. Keep up the great work. Thanks for being such an encouragement to the children's ministry community.
Thank you very much.
You're awesome. All right. Thanks, Vanessa. Talk soon.
Bye.
All right. Vanessa Myers, go check out VanessaMyers.org. Remember, if you have a question, text it, please, to 833-792-6372. If you have something you'd like to talk about, Ryan, have you thought about talking about this topic? Ryan, have you thought about bringing this guest into the coffee chat? Ryan, I have a question. I'd love to hear you speak about this or pick your brain on this. That right there is the number you need to text, 833-792-6372. All right, Amber Pike's going to join us next. Amber is the executive editor. Sounds so cool to say that. Doesn't it sound cool to say the executive editor? I guess we could just say editor, but executive sounds cool, doesn't it?
It does.
But she deserves that title. It's actually a very, very big job putting together a magazine. Sometimes you look at a magazine like this and you're like, wow, So pretty, so many, looks so nice. And it is pretty. I think this is such a good looking magazine, but it takes a ton of work. I mean, an editor, what have you learned, Amber? You've been editing Kids Matter magazine now for, is it
For a year.
how long?
A year.
A year. Okay. You've been doing this a year. What have you learned?
Every bit of it.
Well,
I had no
which I'm
clue.
super proud of you because you'd never edited a magazine before. I mean, you've written and stuff like that, but you've never edited a magazine.
So not
Yeah.
only did I have to learn how to do the magazine, I had to learn new programs too that we work with our designer on. So
Right.
I'm not just putting it in a Word file and sending it off. Like I have to go in a program and edit the design files, and I've learned it all from scratch.
Which is crazy. Now, thankfully, when Amber puts together a nice magazine like this, at least Amber always knows Ryan is going to get her stuff early, if not on time, early, right? What are you laughing for?
Every time. I'm not saying that this time we were waiting on Ryan's Frank stuff when everyone else was in. I didn't say that.
No. Normally, here's how it goes down. It normally goes down to Amber sending me a text being like, Ryan, if I don't get this, like we're going to go to print and that page is going to be blank. So you better, or Amber will be gracious to say, hey, is it something I can help you with? But Amber, great job. This is it's a little thinner because it's our summer issue, but I'm telling you, it is packed with some great articles.
It really is.
I'm super excited about this one. If you're just jumping on the coffee chat, Kids Matter magazine, we've been printing this for 15 years now. If you're not subscribed, you really ought to be subscribed. Go to kidsmatter.com. You can subscribe to the magazine, or you get a subscription for free if you're a member of Kids Matter Pro, which is $19.95 a month. You get a magazine subscription, you get 3 downloads, brand new stuff every month. You're part of our coaching call. But Amber, you're doing a great job with this. Amber, we're talking today a little bit about families. Vanessa, as a children's pastor and as a resource provider, as a blogger, an author, she really felt the Lord leading her at the beginning of the year. I need to do more with families, which little did she know at the beginning of the year, COVID-19 was going to hit. And here we are, we've been forced, a lot of us, to do family ministry. And a lot of the stuff we've been talking about we need to be doing forever. COVID forced us into family ministry. You've had some interesting experiences even at home.
Yes.
You're telling me about it. Talk to us about it.
Okay, so I have like 2 at-home stories.
Yeah.
The first one is just personally, and I'm betting there are a lot of children's ministry leaders in the same boat.
Yep.
But Sunday mornings for us is usually me fussing at the slow pokes to hurry up and get moving so we can get out the door into church so I can get everything ready.
Yep.
There's
Yep.
no full breakfast time, no family worship in the morning. But then church shut down, and we got, for the first time in my children's lives, we sat down and we had worship together, intentional worship as a family on Sunday mornings. And I've loved it. I make a special breakfast and we sit and we watch a little like 5-minute video from Lifeway. And then we do a little activity page with my 9-year-old and we just talk about God, and it's awesome. And they've loved it. This past Sunday, my 3-year-old, we're potty training. It's not going well.
Lovely. Yep.
We were getting ready and she was being threatened that she wasn't going to get to have chocolate muffins because she hadn't gone to the bathroom yet.
Yep.
And she looks at me and she goes, "Do Jesus?" And my 3-year-old was so excited and had already gotten the pattern that it was time to do Jesus. And my 9-year-old is so excited when we do something. He's like, "Ooh, is it family worship time?"
I love it.
And then I'm just kind of like, man, why did I not slow down and intentionally do this with my kids? And I'm the children's minister.
I get it.
So this whole
Yeah.
time with my church, because I'm over the nursery through teenagers. And I've been trying to resource mom and dad. I'm like, you all are not going to sit and watch me teach for an hour. There's no point. We've had some Zoom stuff and hangouts, but I wanted mom and dad to lead. And then I was having a little come to Jesus, do the dishes, kind of crying because I'm getting very little responses. In our program that we use, I can see who's opened my emails and it's not a good percentage.
Yep.
And
Yep.
I was just sitting there crying like, God, how do I encourage mom and dad to want to take the lead? And then I get a phone call from one of my 5th graders that on her birthday, they took a hike and she accepted Christ.
Oh, wow.
And God is just saying, Amber, I don't need you. I can do this.
Yep.
Mom and dad can do this, even if they don't know how.
I love it.
So I've been trying to resource moms and dads, but I also know that it's not a great percentage, but those that want to are doing it. Us included. So maybe it's all just been for my kiddos.
And maybe it has, which is fine. Yeah, I think you got to take the pressure off of you that you're going to connect with every parent. I mean, it was impossible to do that prior to the COVID, and even during. Amber, has your church, is it open back up?
We've opened for services, but not children yet.
Okay.
We have, every other pew blocked off just for service. And I'm hearing from my parents that, well, I'm not bringing the kids because there's nothing for them. And I kind of want to slap them upside the head.
Yeah.
And like, it's training time. So I've made these awesome packets at church, but we've yet to have any kids show up. And it's even got like a magazine in it for the kids and worship notes. And I've encouraged families in email and video in the live stream. Hey, use this as a tool. Teach your kid how to listen to a sermon, how to take notes, how to learn from it. And I'm hearing crickets. I've even offered prizes. I'm like, if anyone shoots me a picture, email me, text me, tell me you did it, of you doing the worship notes, of you watching church, I will mail you a prize. And nothing. But
I love it that you shared that, Amber, because you would think somebody like Amber, who is the editor of this beautiful magazine, she's got it all together. In her church, everybody is 100% on board. And here Amber is saying, I get it. I get the struggle. How do you keep yourself, Amber, from getting discouraged when you're in the midst of this?
Honestly, I think God just comes in and says, really, Amber? Because I will come home from church in tears. I will question, why am I doing this? I'm not making an impact.
Yeah.
And then that's short-lived. And I'm really open with my kids. And I've talked to them sometimes about, like, I've had those. Every children's minister has had those. Why am I still here? I'm not making an impact moment. And I told my kids about it once. And they're like, what are you talking about? You're amazing. You're supposed to be here. So it's things like that, or a phone call from a kid that, hey, I had to tell you first that I just accepted Jesus.
That's it.
And then there are the wins in ministry. And I think for equipping families, you have to find out what parents want, because they might not want what you think they want. And so I've been trying to find out, like, hey, what do you guys want? How can I equip you? What resources do you need? What do you like best? And I asked that question in several ways, several times. I had one dad, he's like, hey, we're in the car a ton. We want more CDs. So I have awesome Easter CDs sitting in my office because Easter was canceled.
They have them next year.
Yeah. And then when you find something that works well, do it. For us, it's cooking devotions.
It's what now?
Cooking devotions.
Okay.
I made a pizza kit, and I had pizza boxes and put everything in there to make a pizza, and had a devotion with it on how a pizza, it's like the Bible, because you got the crust, you have the foundation of God. I had almost 100% of my families do this. It was fun. And then I incentivized it. If you send me a picture of you doing it, you get a prize. And it was $1 splat ball.
Yeah.
But almost every family did it. And then the next cooking one we did, probably about 90% of them did it. They seem to like experiences better than take-home papers that don't even leave the building.
Exactly.
So I try to do more of that because that's what's better received.
Exactly. I love it. When you find something that works, stick with it.
Yeah.
It's Amber Pike. Amber is the editor of Kids Matter magazine. I also want to mention that there's a brand new book in here by a girl named Amber Pike.
She sounds.
Tell us about your new book.
Yeah, so this is with Rose Publishing, and it uses their 10-foot timeline, and it's Bible stories. It's very in-depth about connecting the Bible together as one big story. So there's tons of activities. And it's kind of written to where you could do it at home. You could do it in a homeschool group. You could do it at church. It is truly chock full. Each lesson is chock full of activities. So there is plenty to do, hands-on, deep foundational, just relating it all together. And it's supposed to be one of two. Hopefully the next couple years, you'll see version 2, which will be the other half of the lessons on the timeline.
Yeah, love it. It's called Exploring The Bible Through History. I'm sure it's on Amazon. Is that the best place to get it?
Yeah, Amazon, or you can go through like Christian Book. You can go through Rose Kids website.
Amber Pike, Exploring the Bible Through History. Great job with this most recent issue of Kids Matter. Thank you, Amber, for joining us.
All right, thank you.
Yep. All right. Take care. All right. It's Amber Pike. Go check out that new book. We sure love Amber. She does a great job with Kids Matter magazine. Those of you watching on Facebook today, glad you're here. Those of you listening on the podcast or catching this on YouTube, thank you for joining me for the daily coffee chat. I've loved doing these, and I'm not ready to quit. Somebody asked me yesterday, how long am I going to keep doing this? Because this was kind of birthed out of the COVID and this pandemic and quarantine, and I'm not ready to stop. I have enjoyed these conversations. Thank you for listening in. Tivo McCrary is going to be our next guest on the coffee chat. Tivo is a great friend and a great kids pastor. Good morning, Tivo. How are you?
Good. How are you doing?
I'm doing well. Now, I am in Marion. My office is in Marion, Indiana, and Tivo is in Marion, Illinois. Now, if that's not a connection, neighboring states, same city name.
Oh yeah.
What do you think What do you think the Lord's trying to teach us, Tivo?
I think Marion's pretty important, no matter where it is.
They've got some cool people.
Oh yeah. Definitely.
Now, I've not looked up Marion, Illinois on a map, but where is it in the state?
So Marion, Illinois is probably as South Illinois as you can get. So
Okay.
45 minutes from Paducah, Kentucky, an hour and a half from St. Louis, Missouri, an
Okay,
hour from Cape Girardeau, Missouri, 5.5 hours from Chicago. So
I
very
got
south.
you. I got you. Okay. Tivo, again, is a great friend with a lot of children's experience. He is a great contributor to I Love Kidmin community. He speaks at MegaCon. Tivo and I try to do as much stuff together as we can. He's a good friend. Tivo, tell us about the ministry, your ministry. Tell us about the church where you're at. Take a minute and tell us what it's looked like through this COVID, and then where are you at now? Have you reopened the doors? What's going on?
Right. So like we said, we're a church in Marion, Illinois. My role is the next gen pastor, so overseeing birth through college
Okay.
at all of our locations. So currently 3 locations, one here in Marion, one in Carbondale, Illinois, and one in Paducah, Kentucky. So the whole COVID and reopening has been interesting because Kentucky has different rules than Illinois has, and
Yeah.
everyone doesn't know what's going on half the time. But so COVID has been very interesting. It's been fun shifting our ministry model for students and kids to more of a, how do we connect a family? How do we do digital well? What resources are we giving them? Especially early on with school all being homeschooled, and how do we give resources that are complementing and not competing with the busy time, and everyone's tired of digital stuff, and how do we just best support it? So we actually opened up our main campus, so here in Marion, this past weekend for an outdoor service. So we're still doing online
Okay.
church and the option of an outdoor service. So we'll be doing that for a couple of weeks. It was hot, but it was really good to be back fellowshipping together.
I bet. Tivo, how have you seen in your church? How have you seen families during this time really step up to the plate? Like, if you're like, man, some of these families, I'm so proud of them. What have you seen them doing and doing well?
Right. So I think we, as kids pastors, we always underestimate how valuable the family is in the
Mhm.
structure of salvation for kids, or even just general Bible knowledge. And so we've been seeing families posting that they're doing weekly devotionals as a family. They're having family worship time. They're really engaging with the digital content we're putting out. But more than that, they're going further and having what we would like to call just like intentional conversations with their kids, whether it's at bedtime or nap time. There's not a lot of car time, or there wasn't,
Mhm.
but when they were in the car, engaging their kids with just everyday practical life conversations that are gospel centric. We actually did a blog post when all of this first started that was 7 steps for successful family worship. And it was just one of those, like, you don't have to knock it out of the park, but you have to do something. And so it's just been neat seeing families on various parts of the scale engaging with their kids, because at the same time they're their spiritual leader, they're their parent, they're their teacher, and so it was just very fun to see that they were taking that part of our quarantine extremely seriously.
I like that. I love that. Now you and Tamara, you have, I know you have at least one.
Yes,
He's-
1 2-year-old. He turned 2 in the middle of
Okay, I
COVID.
remember. I try to remember from Facebook. I knew you had one. I couldn't remember if it was boy or girl, but I remember he or she was little. Yeah. So you've got a boy, and
Yes.
he's about 2.
Yes, a little over 2. So he turned 2 April 2nd. So that was fun, having a COVID social distancing birthday party type thing.
Did you do a drive-by, or what'd you do?
So we Zoomed family, and
Neat.
then we had a couple close friends that we were doing ministry with over at the house. So
That's cool. That's cool. Tebow, talk to us about what during this pandemic, you said something about families connecting with what we're doing digitally. What have you been doing digitally that you've had success with?
right. So early on, I think most churches and organizations out of the gate were like, let's just get as much content as possible in front of people. So they were doing 3 or 4 things a week, which was working for them. It was not working for us.
Okay.
So very early on, we scaled back and just said, if we're going to do 1 or 2 things, let's do them extremely well, and let's push all of our focus there. So
Yeah.
one of those things were the weekend service experience, which was no longer a weekend experience. It was you can watch it whenever you want to,
Yeah.
after it's posted. So it's on demand. And then the other thing was just, we have a parenting Facebook group trying to create those intentional moments where parents are getting frustrated and at wit's end with their kids. We were potty training when all of this happened. And so that was fun, and working from home. And it was just one of those, like, the Facebook group provided error relief, and kind of like everyone says, social media is your highlight reel. We try to treat that Facebook group as a thing where you can come and you can be raw, you can be who you are, you can request prayer and that kind of stuff. So we focused on those 2 things, the digital weekend experience. And with that, we provided simple things that they could print off at home. For a couple of weeks, we did it. You could pick up at the church, and then our entire state shut down, so they couldn't do that anymore. And so it was fun seeing that.
Yep. Tebow, wrap us up by, you're always such an encourager. One word of encouragement to someone who's watching or listening today, feeling discouraged. Maybe it's something at the church, maybe it's something at home. Speak a word of blessing or just encouragement over someone that needs it today.
Right. So I would say you're valuable, and what you're doing is changing lives. And I think in our country, and not to make anything political or anything like that, but in our country today, we see the value in raising kids in gospel-centric houses or in gospel-centric communities. And a lot of mornings over the past couple of months, I've woken up thinking, what would it look like if every kids pastor or student pastor or pastor or even Christian mom and dad were very intentional with the time they had with their kids? Would today, 2020, June 11th, look different if we had prepared differently 6 months ago? So it's really challenged me and my team. How are we equipping parents now, but also in the future, to be the champion of their house and not the church being the champion? So for anyone that is feeling like you have to keep up with the digital content or be everything to everyone, I would just encourage you that, hey, you're seen, your kids love you, this community loves you, God loves you, and you're doing a great job. Don't compare yourself to other churches. Don't compare yourself to other people. Be exactly who you need to be for the few that God's entrusted you to lead.
I love it. Such a good word, Tebow. Thank you. Hey, if you love me, Tebow, you need to buy me one of those shirts like yours and send it to me. I got to be honest, I'm loving your shirt today.
Oh, thank you. Thank you.
Good looking shirt. Tebow, you're a good friend. You're a great kids pastor, and keep up the great work. You got my number. If you ever need anything, call me. Love you, brother.
Will do. Love you.
All right. Thank you. Tebow McCrary. What a great coffee chat today, as we've been talking about the family and the importance of what mom and dad are doing and resourcing mom and dad and championing mom and dad. Hope that you've been encouraged today. Thank you, Vanessa Myers. Thank you, Amber Pike. Thank you, Tivo McCrary. Thank all of you who are tuning in to the Daily Coffee Chat. You're watching on Facebook. You're listening. Those of you that like to listen on the podcast, you are catching this on YouTube. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Remember a couple things. Let me share my screen with you. First of all, if it's been a while since you have been to the I Love Kidmin Facebook group, jump over there. All right. A lot of great conversations happening in the I Love Kidmin Facebook group. Some fun contests like that one that ended yesterday. A lot of great conversations. Don't go at ministry alone. Thank you for being a part of I Love Kidmin Facebook. Also, as you prepare for this weekend, make sure to go to kidsmatter.com. We've got a lot of great resources for you. New stuff being added every day. While you're there, click that link right there and check out globalkidminday.com. Global Kidmin Day is coming on August the 8th. All around the world, churches opening up their doors when possible for their teams to come and get training for 3 hours. If it's not possible for you to gather, we're making it possible for you to share the link with everybody so they can participate from home. This is going to be the first ever event of its kind. Go check out globalkidminday.com. What a great coffee chat, friends. Thanks for joining me. Can't wait to see you tomorrow at the same time. Teaser alert, tomorrow, Matt Markins is going to be with us. Matt is the president of Awana. He's going to be with us. We have some other guests going to join us tomorrow as well. Friends, be blessed. Thanks for joining me today on the Daily Coffee Chat. Talk to you tomorrow.